Hey, Good News family. This is Tana Heineman, the host of our Now What podcast. This is where we unpack Sunday's message and we talk about how to practically apply it to our everyday lives. I love that you're here with us, and I love that we get the opportunity to spend more time with our pastors and have them teach us even more what the Word has to say about our everyday lives. We learn from Jesus that one of the best ways to grow is in community together. So join us as we unpack Sunday's message. Hey, Good News family. Hey, PG, how are you today?
I'm good.
Oh my gosh, you're good being here. Josh, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
I feel like telling you happy summer. I know. Thank you for the look.
Today's the first day of fall, yeah?
It's not. It's like we're already fully a week into fall, actually.
Really?
I think it's like the 21st or something, but it feels like summer outside. It is so hot.
Yeah.
83.
I
Thought I was going to get sunburned yesterday.
Saturday we did because we were in Topeka, because everybody goes and hangs out in Topeka on the weekend.
I love Topeka on the weekend. Yeah, it's a party.
West had a game, and no one brought sunscreen or anything, but you literally, it was like the sweat through your clothes kind of. Ooh. Yeah, it was bad, and we all got sunburned, and I'm like, okay.
Sounds like a normal day to me. Sweat through your clothes?
I sweat by breathing, that's the way I said it. Even when I was in shape, it didn't matter. It just, is it warm out? No, Craig's just Craig.
Hot.
So, but Chicago last week was like warm enough to sweat a bit, but not so warm that you're dripping.
Okay.
And so you're just like sticky.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. And so everything you're wearing just feels like
Yes. Mm-hmm. I did hear this morning, getting ready for work, they said it was like 99% humidity this morning.
What?
Yeah, that's what it said. And there was a day last week that it was like that too. I'm like, it's too much. We're in September. Like, I've embraced the rest, like summer's over.
Yeah.
I've embraced it. And now you keep throwing it back in my face, and now I'm not in the mood for it. You know, it's just hot now.
Yeah.
But anyways, I also feel like we've had so many meetings today that I'm a little worried you're going to, especially you, are going to run out of words. Do you have any words left?
Yeah, I haven't used many.
Okay.
I was going to say.
Maybe we've sat in them listening, being talked at.
Yeah.
No, they've been good meetings, I guess. But
Yeah.
okay, let's just jump in. We have a new series. A new series called Filled. And I'm still not believing you. You chose that you wanted to preach about joy?
Oh, yeah.
This is fascinating to me.
He chose to speak about joy. You chose to have me on the podcast about joy.
Yeah, you said you're not a joyful person, really.
I wouldn't think so.
How do you define it? What would a joyful person look like?
I don't know very many of them. So I would say Miss Bibb seems joyful.
Okay.
Almost all the time. I've seen her pretty upset a time or two. Probably because of men.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
How would you define what a joyful
Kristen's
person looks
pretty
like?
joyful.
She is.
Aware of their salvation.
Yeah.
That this thing's really good. And
Based on the message.
yeah,
100%.
genuinely.
I'm saying, like, stereotypically, I don't think that I would be classified as like a joyful person. Happy, maybe.
Okay.
But I think I'm joyful. I think that's what we're going to talk about. I am joyful.
Okay.
'Cause of
You
what Pastor Greg
you don't consider yourself the stereotypical joyful person because you think they'd be the one that's like got a tambourine and running through the main auditorium?
Who I would say is joyful?
Who?
Pastor Drew.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
so
he's
you
like
think
the
big personality,
like
just happy,
always so
just-
like yeah, he's
Okay.
like overflowed with joy.
Okay.
Not just filled. That
Just
dude's
overflowing.
overflowing
Okay.
with joy.
I
Yeah.
can see that. All right.
That's how I think of joyful people. But I know that I'm a joyful person.
Yeah.
So.
Would you call yourself a joyful person, PG?
No, but based on my criteria too.
Right.
And I think the criteria are important if in the question, because otherwise happy, excited personalities then be called joyful.
Which is not.
Regardless of the definition, because whether you like the previous definition, the one I kind of said to, or closer to the ones that I've given, you're still apart if you think everybody who seems up is joyful.
So do you have to be a believer to be joyful? Does joy only truly happen to a believer?
I'm going to go with big J and little j. And I think I think everyone from time to time has experienced joy.
Little J joy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You've had moments of joy where if I say, well, your team just scored a touchdown and you didn't think they were going to, and you're like, yeah. Your kid does something on a field that, or with an instrument or something that you didn't know they could do, and when they get excited, you can get excited. When they realize about themselves or something. There's just so many elements of joys that can happen and do happen. And I think everybody. It's why. I again lean to a different definition, because I think the things that are happening that God is inspiring within us are common things that we complicate. The adjustment of orientation, I've used that word so much recently, it's frustrating me, but it's the correct word. The adjustment of where the joy is coming from, the intent of the joy, what it's accomplishing, and all these different things. I think when God is the center, when he is the utter center, when Jesus is the person, he gives us a focus point that this is what Jesus does. He gives us just answers upon answers. It then transforms the momentary things into things that are part of a bigger narrative, a bigger story of redemption.
That's really good.
That is good.
Were you going to say something? He just preached a little bit.
I know.
So now it's like,
well, he went
anything
past
you have to add to that?
Right. I was going to say the little joy that, basically, if you're a Chicago Bears fan,
Oh my gosh,
you
we got it
experienced
last
that last night. Yeah. Which you don't get very often as Chicago Bears fans, because you expect them not to win. Sorry, guys. And then every once in a while they block a field goal and somehow win by 1 point. I didn't think that could happen in football, but
We literally stopped my mom's birthday dinner because I glanced up and saw 25-24 with like 23 seconds. We hadn't watched most of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, babe, your Bears, they're going to win. It's like the second time in 10 years. It's so
exactly.
great. Yeah, he was very happy. I didn't even know how it happened.
That's a little joy.
That was a little J joy.
Yeah.
I see.
he got
Absolutely.
it.
Yep. And
It's
happy.
perfectly okay. It's
Yes.
wonderful. I encourage. To me, Ecclesiastes absolutely encourages that. It's a dour kind of encouragement.
I was going to say, that's not the book I would really go to for joy, but
among places where the Hebrew word for joy is most prevalent is Deuteronomy.
what?
Right? And even more so, Ecclesiastes.
Wow.
Okay, so Ecclesiastes, it would be because he's giving you your polar opposites.
I would say he's like, I've searched everywhere. I found meaning in nothing. So you might as well be joyful while you're alive. At least you're not dead.
Okay.
Be joyful.
Yeah.
And for him, it sounds very heavy, but he's like, I can't find a meaning. So
Yeah.
just do your thing, man.
Yeah.
He ends the whole thing with, here then's the end of this. Fear God, obey his commandments. This is the whole duty of man.
Okay, so I was going to say, so he still takes it back. I haven't studied the book. I've read the book, but
That's great.
of oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. But basically, how I've looked at all, it's all just nothing, meaningless, whatever.
Yeah.
So with God, in God, whatever, just find joy.
Absolutely. If we can't, someone who is just the teacher, the person carrying wisdom says, I've examined everything I could possibly examine. And I haven't found I haven't found in any of these things a reason to keep going, a reason that makes this all worth it, that clarifies why some prosper and some are cursed or don't. Why some people are rich and some people poor, while some people live to 100 and someone lives to 2. I can't find any line of meaning through all of this. So, my words, establish your own meaning. Just look around. The way he writes, you have a wife, and enjoy that relationship.
Yeah.
Stay with the wife of your youth. Don't burn down your life. Enjoy it, man. Sort of an eat, drink, and be merry. There's actually something close to that, but it's not dismissive to me.
Yeah.
Some people might read it that way. I've heard most of the commentary I've read, I haven't read a ton, point to, he was depressed and stuff like that. I'm like, actually, I don't think so. I think he was correct. I think he's just expressing the state of life and
The reality of it.
absolutely. Can you tell me what meaning is there? To be overly personal, what meaning is there that my mom died when I was 11?
Right. Right.
None.
Mm-mm.
I don't care what anyone says. Well, God wanted her. Get away from me. Or it's so you could grow or learn. And I'm like, I literally haven't heard anything. So what do I have?
I could have grown and learned with her. She could have still been with Jesus at some point if she lived a full life, or know, those arguments.
Yeah, and what ifs or do no work for me. They just, they're little thought experiments, and that's great. Maybe you can find something there. But there's no pros or cons or anything else that I go, well, this now makes sense or something. And so I go to Job and go, again, a book people go, oh, it's real heavy. Why did this happen? I'm like, no, interpret it through Job's response, because he went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get that I don't get it.
Exactly. I get that I don't get it, and I don't get to know.
So here's my response.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I forgot that my job was to be faithful.
Yeah.
So I will be faithful. I will be, I don't. If you want that to be called blind faith, then it is. I think it's very informed faith. I think it's eyes wide open faith.
That's good.
That's good.
Okay, I'm going to circle us back to joy and the message from this week. And I got to have several conversations leading up to us recording today with just different people and how they heard the message and how they interpreted it. So one person I was having a conversation with talked about you talked about the tension as Christians, because we tend to say that we have to kind of separate our emotions from our faith. We can't be led by them. Would you guys both said you're not joyful people. Are you emotional people? Would you consider yourselves emotional?
Well, I think that I am.
If you
joyful,
say no, I'm going to.
But yes, I would. I think I can answer for both of us and say that we are both emotional people.
Yes.
I would say emotionally aware for sure. And I think that both of us have had to, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but both of us have probably had to navigate where that line is of, okay, I'm not allowing my emotions to control my situation or what I'm doing, but also not burying them. I spent years trying to bury the emotions that I had, which then caused turmoil.
That backfires.
Yeah, that backfires. And so being able to feel the emotions that I have, navigate them, and keep moving forward has been a big process.
And so in Christendom, sometimes we don't make it safe for that. We're trying to separate ourselves from the emotion that God made us with. And I think of the kids movie Inside Out. And have you seen it? Because your kids are grown. Yes. Okay. It's really good. The second one's really good too, actually. Did you see the second one with anxiety added in as she becomes a teenager? And it's like spot on. But
doing everything I can not to feel things. So I avoid.
You will cry.
I did not. Oh, man. I did not watch number 2.
Okay. You will cry in this movie. Yeah. But you can picture all the little emotions, and yes, and yes, you all exist right there in my brain. There they are. And we just have often made it, we try to spiritualize and quote scripture and whatever. So how do we help people reconcile how to feel their feelings but not be led by them?
I look at the life of David a lot. He was very emotional. I think nobody would question that.
Yep.
But he also had this ability to circle back and say, I might be feeling this way. God, why have you abandoned me? Why are you letting my enemies come against me? He's, whether you call that fear, doubt, whatever, he's feeling something in that moment. And then he turns and will say, even though I'm feeling these things, basically, God, I trust you. You are my safe place. You are who I run to in times of need. I know that you are my protector. He shifts from, I might feel this way and think this way in this moment, but I'm going to focus and turn my focus towards who I know you to be and what I know you to be for me, whether that be the outcome or not, and I think it goes back to that a lot.
Yeah, totally. I think the same positive aspects that make David somebody who stands up to Goliath, which is craziness,
right?
Which is why you do crazy things like that when you're young, are the same, to me, emotions that lead him to almost kill Nabal. Yes. I finally remembered that guy's name.
Yes. You were with me, actually.
Yeah.
I think sitting here when you could not remember that. That's right.
and the dude's name is called fool, and his actions are foolish, and something should happen, but it takes an outside voice of wisdom to come and say, no, don't do this. You will be doing a wrong in response to wrong. And you will be doing a major wrong in response to a small wrong. So voices of wisdom are involved. We were just in a meeting where teachability was among the conversation and stuff. So in a really positive way, it wasn't. Yeah. Anyway, it was because we had to tell Tana, look.
If you don't start being teachable,
I think it was get
out.
Right or get left.
Yeah.
Was the phrase.
teetering.
So yeah, that's a joke. These are all jokes. Anyway, I'll be here all week.
I get emails. Are you about to get fired?
Yeah. No, is actually what I mean. However Midwestern people use it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah.
So, but yeah,
Where were we?
the management of emotions is quite a thing, and some people seem to have more of that coming out of the gate, and some of us have to learn it, and some of us have to have really strong-willed mothers who insist that you're going to be self-aware, and sometimes it's sad, but pain is quite a teacher if we'll pay attention.
I got to have a conversation with my second oldest daughter just recently about, you said management, like emotional management. And I had this conversation with her because she was feeling down, didn't know why, but was having a really hard time having a good attitude and feeling down on the way she was treating other people. So we're walking to school, and I said, you need to manage your emotions, and she said, I don't know why I feel this way, and I don't know how to make myself stop feeling this way.
Great.
And so so I stopped with her, and I said, I'm not expecting you not to feel the way that you feel. There are a lot of days where I wake up and I feel a way, and I don't know why. And I don't know how to make myself stop feeling that way. What I'm asking you to do is not feel sad in this moment. I'm asking you to not let it affect the way that you're treating your sisters. You don't get to, because you're sad, be mean to your little sister. You don't get to push her away because of that. That's what I mean by managing it. You can say, I don't know why I feel this way, but I'm going to move on with my day and try to have my actions be more positive than my feelings. And so just being able to have that conversation with her, even that just kind of like snapped her out of like, okay, it's still, she's 7. So I still don't have it nailed down.
Sure.
But there's an element in that of where you also gave her permission. I'm not telling you not to feel this. Right. And oftentimes we tell people,
don't.
Yeah, but the joy of the Lord is your strength. And you should have more faith, and you should pray through this. Or if you just turn on some worship music, get yourself out of this funk, and this is what we do. But if we make space of, some days I don't know why I feel the way I do, and some days I do know why I feel the way I feel, and I don't know how to get out of it right now. And Jesus and I are talking. And that's the habit we need to start in of like, Holy Spirit, and that's where I love where you took the message on Sunday when you talked about like joy is a fruit of the Spirit. It's not a fruit of Tana, Josh, or Greg. It is a fruit of the Spirit. So while we said yes, people can experience little J joys whether they know Jesus or not. The truest of joy is a big J joy that then influences all the other little J joys, and that only comes through the Holy Spirit working through us and teaching. Either it's our children or people coming new to Jesus, of it's okay to have those feelings. It's what we're going to do and how we're going to process through and let the Holy Spirit do what he needs to do.
I think the big thing for me is understanding that my feelings do not change God's character. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That to me is such a profound element of life. Like, I might feel this way, but I can trust that God is still God. Like, even whenever I have the reason for why I feel this way, because crap happens, right? Like, we have all lived through our own traumas and things that have had the ability or could have had the ability to fully pull us under.
Yeah.
And yet God and his character has never changed. And so understanding that and being able to say, again, David, I know why I feel this way, but I also know you to be greater, and that I can trust in you even though these things are making me feel this way or put me in this situation or whatever it is.
And I love simple word changes from should to can, for example. And I think we've talked about it before, where you should feel joyful versus you can feel joyful.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you could feel the way you feel, or you can start saying, oh, I think I want to be joyful. And I'm not saying it's that simple. It is that simple, and it's not. I get the process through me is maybe take a little time, because okay, what does it take for me to change my perspective? And okay, maybe I need to, there's a tiny bit of fake it till you make it. I don't think that's the way to drive your life, but there's some times where you're like, okay, I don't feel great today, but I really don't want to feel bad today. Right. Okay, that's some progress. You just made giant progress for some people to realize that you have an option.
Yeah.
And while at the same time go, some days you may not have that option. Right. It may be too much. Okay, you're still okay.
Yeah.
But you also, I want you to be a little aware, maybe not at that moment when you're feeling like you can't do, but at some point, this doesn't mean that your whole life has to be that.
Right.
It kind of helps us figure out, should I get someone else involved in a conversation, counseling or something like that. But if I can go, I think some of this is within your power, within the strength of the Spirit within you to begin to, you have the option. And so can I be joyful? I can. Do I feel like I can be joyful? Man, great question. No. Okay, so you can be joyful, but you don't feel like you can be joyful. See, it sounds like tedious for some people. I get that. But this is progress for some people. For some people who are listening to this might just be, oh, wait a minute, you can think that way? Yes. You totally can. Yeah. Because the end goal is that important. Man, if you could, we're talking about some depression and stuff, but if you could regularly just be aware that in your anxiety, okay, can I calm? Can I wait? Okay, let's reorient it. Let me make sure I process whatever the stress is through a lens that is helpful. Because right now, I want to blow something up.
Yeah.
Okay, let me calm down. Genuinely, I remember my salvation. Okay, not as a guilt thing, but as a joy. Oh my gosh, this is what happened. Okay, my mood's actually kind of changing. There's a great book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and one of the tiny chapters is smile, and he's actually telling you it's been shown that even if you just put a pencil in your teeth, which makes your mouth go up, and then look at yourself in the mirror, you'll actually you can hack your own thing, and it does what you're saying, because I just on something silly you're like ha, and it does that even in the moment when you're feeling like crap or you don't want to be around people or something like that. These little things they're useful hacks you're not falsely manipulating yourself. You're deciding this is what I want to be. Yeah. And I don't know how to get there, so I'm going to do little things. And among these little things is the fundamental idea that Jesus cares enough to have done something that has brought me home.
Yeah.
That in my pigsty prodigal son story, it was still open for me to come home. Yeah. I remembered that even my father's servants eat better than me.
Yeah.
I don't have to live in this fear. I don't have to exist in this slop mess that the unclean sort of things roll around in. There's something better. And man, even if I just go, and his whole theological thinking is wrong, but he doesn't know. At least he goes home.
Yeah.
And he went home filthy, smelling like pig. Awful. So he experienced the joy of coming home and being welcomed. He still had to clean up. He still had to get out of the evidence of all of the heavy and awful.
Who did the work?
But
even then, who did the work?
True.
Yeah, isn't that good? I mean, that switch. Right. It does need to happen. I'm not trying to stomp on that.
You're right.
It just occurred to me. Yeah.
Well, okay. So I think about that element a lot of like, in this, you said, whenever I know what this anxiety or the depression or whatever, like those practical tools, even in our, like, this is something that, I don't know if you guys were ever like this in your marriages, but where you would fight and then you're like, I'm not going to say sorry. Like and you could
apologize.
Okay. Okay.
Nate just literally looked up from his work. He's not here, but I know when he's listening, he is going to stop the press to wait and see if you're going to fall for that.
I was like, all right.
No.
No, but in that, like where for a long time, there would be days, weeks. Sometimes there probably are things that I should probably apologize for that I don't even remember from years ago. But yeah, she probably remembers. No, like taking time in those situations to walk away and then come back. So Kristen and I just got in an argument. I know you guys might be surprised. Yeah, just earlier this last week, and I had to leave afterwards and left, and I was in the store, and I called her, and she didn't answer, and I was like, "Oh, she's mad." No, really, she just didn't have her phone on her. But she called me back, and I said, "Hey, I want to start this conversation by apologizing. I shouldn't have responded that way. I shouldn't have said that or whatever it was. It was all of the above, y'all. Let's be real. I love you more than anything, and I'm sorry, And then I asked if she wanted me to pick up some pumpkins from the store. Luckily, the answer was no, so I didn't have to do that. But yeah. No, but in that, like there are times where, I know I've mentioned this before, like with anxiety, is something that I struggle with. I have a really basic task that I'll go to whenever I have high anxiety, and it's mowing my yard. It regrounds me, and it brings me back to a place of I can have a job that I'm completing a task in, but I'm also able to think about all of the blessings that God has given me. So I go back to salvation. I go back to the fact that I have a yard to mow. And then typically about that time, like I'm on like my third lap or whatever, in our yard. And one of our kids will come out and want to ride on the lawnmower with us or with me. And so then that is another element of like regrounding and bringing me back to reality of what I can be grateful for and the truth of what blessings I have in my life. And it can just pull me back down to, I don't know, maybe a baseline level, and I can actually start to think clearly and start to rationalize with what's going on and try to figure out, how do I have this conversation as a sane person, as opposed to a manic psychopath. So
rage thought that you justify as non-emotional,
right?
Is not
exactly.
Nor is it clear thinking.
But you talked about like rejoice. I don't know if you were going to go there. I saw you were.
I love that use of
such a
rejoy. Rejoy. Re-up on joy. Remember joy. Rejoice. I'm like, this is so great. It might need to be a tattoo. Rejoy.
They're like, that's not how you spell that. That's hilarious.
Just give me the tattoo.
Why do you have that on Why do you have that on your forehead? Anyway, no, that's a big part of it. Like, I think it's easy. I hate to say that. I think it's easy to sometimes forget the reality of what we have been given simply in salvation. Like, forget all the other blessings that we've been given. Like, salvation in and of itself should be the thing that we go back to all the time. Rejoice. Like, again, I say rejoice. It was so powerful, man. I loved that.
I think that gone. I'm gonna catch it. The idea that for some reason something in my head keeps going back, that some of these things that you're talking about might be viewed as, that's all feely and stuff like that. In response, you guys are being too feely about this. In response, among the steps for PTSD patients in the moment, at least that I've experienced, is pick up something and nonviolently hold it. So I don't want to make it weird. Sometimes fireworks are a weird experience. So 1 year in particular, I was struggling for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. And it was, I just had a pillow. And I'm not talking about curling up and rocking back and forth. I'm simply saying that for me, it was just holding on to something. And what they tell you is to, okay, be very aware of that thing, whatever it is. And what it does is now think about where you are. Where are you right now? I wasn't having no flashbacks or anything crazy. It was just high anxiety for a period. And so it's mowing. When you mow, you have to pay attention to where you're going. You've got lines. You're not just randomly flowing through your yard. You're actually paying attention to one thing, and it's not everything.
Yeah.
It's this thing. And so you've simplified your thought. Now, having simplified, you then may be able to go back into a bunch of things, but from a simplified point of view. That's all we're talking about. I use the PTSD thing simply to say we're not talking about just simple, silly little emotional things. I'm talking about very serious things that at the most extreme stage are some of the solutions to even deal with that, to go to our everyday challenges and go, oh, elements of this can really help us. Even if it's a silly way of saying it, to touch grass, to be aware of something under your feet, to slow down and just, I feel a table, that kind of thing. Again, may sound silly, but if you are feeling high anxiety, to breathe through that and really experience that moment is super helpful. And so I think when I'm thinking of joy, it comes into some of this. When I think about the immediacy of it, and the remembering of it, I'm regrounding into the very base thing, not essential. I don't mean base as negative. There's anyway, essential thing.
Well, to use your metaphor, if that's the right word, that you used in your sermon, you talked about foundation and then infrastructure and then making it a home. So you're saying that foundation of joy, coming back to, if you can't remember anything else, there's one thing you can remember, is that God cares for you. God breathed life into you. God chose to breathe life into you again today.
Yes. Yeah.
God, whatever those things are. You and I were talking earlier this morning about how God had the Israelites build the monuments. And I was like, dude, we just talked about, I brought it up last week on the podcast too. We all need to have those monuments that we can turn back and look at when things get hard. Because sometimes we kind of like sometimes to look at all the bad things and just live in that space and justify my bad behavior, my bad attitude. And if we're going to live filled and following Jesus, we have to address those bad habits.
Absolutely.
And change to, let's get grounded and remember truth. And you said at one point, joy is the realization of hope fulfilled. Yeah. Well, sometimes that realization of hope fulfilled is something very practical, tangible right now. But in really hard times, I got to go way back there and go, but God was way back there.
Yeah.
It sometimes feels like he might have forgotten me here, but I do know he was there 32 years ago. So I know that he's here still today in this moment, and help me to find my joy in that.
This is the importance of the stories. It's the importance of sharing our stories. Right. So not just the hard things, but the absolute joys. So the joys make more sense sometimes within the hard times, but it's not just, I'm thinking the book of Ruth, it's not just that there was a famine and all the men died, but it's also that from this story David comes.
Yeah.
It doesn't, for me, it doesn't mean that, oh, that's why they died. No, they died because they got sick.
Right.
That's why they died.
Yeah.
Well, what's the meaning? They got sick.
Yeah.
And things die. That's
how it
that's all it needs to be. but the end result, David was a result of faithfulness
Right.
through this thing, through all of this,
that's good.
regardless that they got sick and died. Naomi called herself Mara because like it's over, this thing's done, and God's like, the Moabite shows up who shouldn't be right and makes things, and you see things come right. And so your stories are important to me. My stories are important to you. The stories of Scripture, oh my gosh, knowing these things, knowing the tragedies, knowing the joys, knowing the lack of faithfulness sometimes, that why can't I experience joy? Well, if you've broken faithfulness, how are you going to? You can't get past your own awareness that you have separated yourself from your source.
Yeah.
So
you have mentioned a few times, like a few different elements of, like maybe not saying that, whenever we go back and we remember salvation and we try to re-ground in the foundation of that, but the truth is like, in the moment, let's do that. And you said this earlier, that doesn't mean you probably shouldn't talk to somebody also.
Right.
And so in this, you're talking about our stories, and I think about, man, go see the therapist, talk to your friends, like talk to the people in your community, and how important that is, because over the years, I've seen so many times where, I'll think about the scripture of like, the tongue holds the power of life and death, and how much life has been spoken into me by people who are just like, hey man, I've actually been there. You can, if I can make it, you can make it. And as simple of an encouragement of that is like, oh, I'm not the only person who is experiencing this thing, like, or who had this in their life or whatever, is such an amazing thing that we need. So in that, my encouragement to everyone is always to don't be where you won't share your testimony. Like, don't be afraid to encourage someone and to tell them something as simple as, man, you're going to make it through this. Like, come on, let's keep going. Keep your head up. God is faithful. Remind them of who you know God to be. Sorry, can I transition a little bit?
Depends on where you're going to go.
Remembering our joy.
Yeah.
Was that all right? I accidentally sent the text during service on Sunday.
That's where I wanted to go.
To Pastor Greg.
Did you notice?
Did you notice that I text you during?
He could see that it popped up on your watch while you were preaching that he messaged
I was
you.
like, darn it, why'd I hit send?
No, you're great.
There's a send later feature.
I know. I just didn't even.
It didn't throw me off at all.
But I was sitting on the front row, and you had mentioned earlier that we don't have fairies or Tinkerbell going around, and you made a Peter Pan reference, which probably most people would have thought that was so random. But for me, it put me in this place where I connected it to a different Peter Pan story, the story of Hook.
Have you seen that movie? Okay.
It's incredible. Robin Williams. Anyway, Robin Williams is trying to remember, he's Peter Pan. He's trying to remember how to fly. And Tinkerbell tells him that he needs to find his happy thought. And so he goes back and there's this flashback scene, and it's him as a baby, and he's super sad, and you don't really know why, but he chooses to run away, which is kind of funny the way they do it, because he's a baby, but he runs away from his parents because his life is so terrible. Tinkerbell finds him, takes him to Neverland, and he's this wild lost boy at this point. He wanders off and goes to England, and he sees Wendy, and he becomes friends with Wendy. What the heck?
I know,
this is going to happen to me again. He becomes friends with Wendy and comes back years later. Wendy's old, but has a granddaughter whose name is Moira, if you guys don't know. Whatever, fun fact. And Peter Pan asks if he can give her a kiss. And Wendy is thinking the thimble in the story.
Because that's what represents.
Because that's what they represent as a kiss. And he says, no, I want to give her a real kiss. And so Gwyneth Paltrow also plays Moira, which is super random because she's like a child at this point. But anyway, he gives her a real kiss. He's fallen in love with Moira. And so he's thinking about all these things, and now he leaves Neverland to be with Moira and for her to be his wife. And then it goes forward to him holding his son.
So in all of this, he's still looking where's
He's
his
trying to
happy
find his
thought?
happy thought. Yeah, he's trying to find his happy thought.
And those were all good.
Those were all good.
He's made
Well,
a
no, some
mature
are good.
choice
Yeah.
because of love.
Right.
But in living that out, he's forgotten
Right.
the reason.
So yeah, well, and so then he's holding his son, and then it cuts back to Robin Williams sitting in this cave, and he's holding this teddy bear, and he's floating up off of the seat. He's flying, but then he kind of like snaps out of it, realizes he's in the air, and falls crashing back down, and he realizes that his happy thought is being a dad, and so it's like this joy that then he just takes off, and all of the junk of what made it so that he couldn't be Peter Pan anymore, it like falls off, and now he's back to being Peter Pan. He's unrecognizable as Peter, the lawyer or whatever he was, from before. And so in that, I was talking to you guys just about like how, like for me, there are times where I have to remember, I have to go back to, there are all these little J joy moments throughout my life. And being a dad, I would say is like, I would probably naturally put that in a big J form, but like, I don't think that I could do that if it wasn't for the reality of knowing that my real joy, the truest form of joy, is found in my salvation and found in the gift that I've been given from that. And you kind of helped me navigate that, Tana, earlier about like, with a few things, your story with the books and all these things about how like the thing in and of itself is amazing and such a wonderful thing, but like the giver of the gift is such a powerful and like eye-opening thing of like the real joy of it. Like your friend didn't have a reason to give you those books, right? I'm not deserving to have these 4 beautiful girls as my daughters, and all of that. But at the end of the day, even more than I'm not deserving of those things, I'm not deserving of my salvation, but yet Christ came and died for me.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And I think
Random.
No, I think it's good.
This is an and, not a but, not a correction. And I want to be careful with this because we've been taught very much, you're not worthy. Yes. Okay. To some degree, I want us to move on.
Yeah.
Because regardless, he still gives.
Yeah. That's good.
The point of view of I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this and stuff, that tends to, or I believe tends to overwhelm the fact that he does. It's almost a so what? I don't deserve this. And I think God's going, anyway, hey, shoes,
Right.
ring, robe,
The big meal.
quit
That's
coming. I'm
great
not
connection.
talking about arrogance where you're like, oh, I deserve. No, you don't. Don't get twisted. This is, what are you thinking? How could you
live in it?
Yeah. You were born. My gosh, I don't get to control this. I'm not but you're also not an angsty teenager going, I didn't ask to live here.
Sounds like you've heard that line before.
Wait, I thought you had heard it from me.
It'd be like mine. All my stories are so sad. Anyway, I've already started. So anyway, mine at one point, I didn't ever say it, but I was like, I remember I pretty much yelled, and I could actually say this. I didn't ask to live here.
Oh, Greg.
See? Yeah. You're like, oh, that's funny. And
That's heartbreaking.
Darn it.
yeah. So,
Back to the
but to
point.
genuinely get to appreciate it, to just say, oh, of course I don't, but look at God.
Yeah.
My gosh.
That's
whatever
what
the
brings
process
true
is,
joy.
whatever the
Right.
process is not to devalue you. It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's let's elevate the work of God. Look at what he's done.
Yeah.
I had no hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not about deserving. It's not about, well, we need to define grace as this kind. Man, that definition is dumb. unmerited favor. Can you take the soul out of something so severely? We're going to define faith. Oh my good Lord. Throw something with some heart in there. If it doesn't move me, then it's not true. And anyway, tiny rant. Anyway, yeah. Now I'm stuck. But man, let God be elevated. Let God be genuinely lifted high. This is some of the theme of Scripture, is that His name be celebrated. That what has happened is because God. But God, what would happen? And the end result of that question is like joy. One of the things I was looking into and have kept for years was an article on joy by, I feel like his last name's Sachs, but he used to be the chief rabbi in England, I think is what it was. Anyway, within that larger kind of piece that he wrote, and I certainly don't know the life of a Jewish person or his whole Judaism and stuff. I just know what he expressed, which is something close to, where would we be without joy? This is a characteristic of us from Moses to now, where our response to even hard times is joy. What else are we going to do? But when we can, rejoice. Everything's burning around, but we're going to dance. We're going to sing, not based on our circumstance, but based on the God we follow. We're going to find enjoyment in community, because we're all experiencing this. And maybe that's the opportunity. Maybe that's the meaning, is that we get to do this together, or we are doing this together, even if it's not a get. Where's God in the midst of us as we celebrate Him? He's here. And I would never want anything bad for you, because man, I've seen bad, and I would never want to curse you with that. So let's be joyful together now. Let's do this.
We don't keep there's that song. It's like something about keeping the joy.
Oh my God.
Down
in my heart.
Where? Way down.
Down in my heart.
I think I always grew up thinking that we were supposed to just keep it way down.
Keep joy down.
Way
joy.
down.
I'm feeling happy. Let's push that down.
Down.
Yeah.
So
you guys are dorks.
You guys are telling me, okay, we should let it out. Okay, cool.
It's supposed to be down there with my sadness.
Yeah, exactly. Right next door.
Exactly.
They share a room.
See? In the movie.
Why are you stoic? Because I have emotions.
Because I have the joy of the Lord way down.
I keep that bad boy down there.
We're very somber.
I'm afraid if it comes up, the other things will too. So
who knows? I might clap.
A couple verses that crossed my my brain today, I actually, in my devotions, coincidentally, I guess, where Romans 15:13, it says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope." And we talked about it here recently, like all of us, whether you work here, whether you work anywhere, you're just in our community of Good News family. Our Good News family are normal human beings who are going through a lot of life. Doesn't, it's no chooser of people, whatever that phrase is like hard is happening to everybody. And just thinking that the God of hope can fill us with all joy and peace in our believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit, we can abound in hope. And I think of you today as you're listening to a message on joy and you're having a hard time figuring out, I don't even know how to find joy right now. Things are beyond hard. I'm running out of hope. And seeing that verse today made me think of some of you that I know personally. Or Psalm 84 says, "What joy for those whose strength comes from the Lord, who have set their minds on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. When they walk through the valley of weeping, it will become a place of refreshing springs. The autumn rains will clothe it with blessings. They will continue to grow stronger." I think when we're having a hard time finding something to have hope and something to give us joy, we need to search up some verses in the Bible and think about this same God that was meeting needs way back here thousands of years ago is the same God that is meeting us even right now. Even I looked up the joy of the Lord is our strength verse. which was so, we take that
Nehemiah
8:10, the joy of the Lord is your strength. And I'm like, wait, this is the context in when it is used.
It's great.
Help me. Okay.
Yeah.
It is like their law is being read to them, and they're recognizing they're not keeping up.
And they haven't heard it in a generation.
And a whole generation, like it was gone. And now all of a sudden it's back. And there's just this response. And this commentary was that this joy of the Lord is our strength means that God's joy provides the power, endurance, and inner strength to face life's challenges, not from our own abilities or circumstances, but from a deep, unwavering relationship with God, rooted in his character and faithfulness. The spiritual strength comes from knowing we are forgiven and sustained by God's unchanging love and promises. That is the joy of the Lord that can be our strength, is remembering that. So you might want to go find Nehemiah. You'll have to get the table of contents out, but Nehemiah 8:10, and just read the story of Nehemiah and what's happening there, and then their reality. I just think that it shows me that, especially when you remind me of the context, that they don't have any history with God, that like they don't know God. They haven't served him. So some of us here in Good News have no history, no baseline. You just showed up here one day. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden you're getting introduced to this God, and you're like, I don't think I can live up to this. But at the same time, it seems like this God is legit, and I could actually, for the first time in my life, find joy and find strength. You're right. And this is where we need to keep learning and know that you're not too far, you're not too uneducated or not enough experience to learn that joy.
Absolutely.
And who God is.
Yeah.
And then we redefine how we respond to situations. Because, and I've said this so many times, I might have to live off of your experience for a little while, because I'm not really quite sure I know of any experiences yet that I've had with him, when we really have. We just don't recognize it quite yet. But sometimes I have to live off.
It's kind of a heavy way of putting it, but I find that sometimes someone else's struggle redefines your interpretation of yours.
Yeah.
For sure.
Again, to make it super heavy.
Go ahead.
We'll sing a song at the end.
These are the things that contribute to the way I think. So I was 17 and suicidal, and was aware enough, but I was also aware I didn't want to die. And so I went to the school counselor and said, this is what's going on. And so went to the psych ward at a local hospital. And too much information, I get it. But
it's not too much information.
The end goal, it pays off. So, and I just explained this to somebody recently. So found out, or the first night I'm there, a lady comes through. I'm in my little room with no shoelaces because they're dangerous. Anyway, and in the hallway, I can hear a lady coming through screaming. I don't know about the next morning. I find out that this lady had put a butcher knife through her own hand because she found out her husband cheated on her. I met a kid, my roommate, then a couple days later, was catatonic. He was a brilliant guy, but just shut down. Had electroshock therapy. And I get, this is insane. This is crazy.
I mean,
I get it.
You went dark.
I'm telling you. But
I'm digging to find my joy again.
Wait.
Yeah.
Other people's stories can help you reorient on your heart if you'll pay attention.
Right.
So then met other kids who the only friends they had were in that ward.
Wow.
But they were only able to stay for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So they would go out, do something that got them put back into the ward so that they could be around people that didn't judge them, that didn't condemn them, that accepted them because they were all the same. All weird, all something wrong. But home was there for them. And somewhere in there, not, believe me, no arrogance involved. I had this realization, I have my stuff, but for some reason I have tools. I'm not that. And I'm not looking down on them. I'm like, no, I'm in the same room, but I'm not, something's different about me. if I'm analyzing it, it's that before I knew God, I knew my mom loved me. It was something that was kind of my true north up to that point. And ever since then, even when I go, I have on my backpack, it could always get worse. It, for me, points to some of this of, oh no, my stuff's really hard. I don't want to go through it. I don't want to ever repeat it. But I do have tools. I do have experiences. I do have access to strength that maybe others don't. So even when I'm raising my kids, I'm not trying to put too much weight on them, but at the same time going, why are we made strong? Why are we made smart? It's because sometimes people aren't, and we can help, and we can come alongside. And so an idea of just something bigger than me happened there when I was reoriented from genuine, not good stuff. And I'm telling you guys the stuff that's able to be told. So, but I go, oh, but there's something I can do this. At that point, it was I can hang. Doesn't mean I'm thrilled. Doesn't mean I'm happy, but their struggles changed the way I processed what I was going through. And in that, I didn't just realize I didn't want to kill myself. I realized I didn't need to. And ever since, haven't really truly encountered I just want it all to end since then because of that. Different people have different stories, but my real point, and I know this is super heavy and hopefully not too awkward, but I think it's important that when we hear these stories, you can know, oh, my marriage is a mess, and you meet somebody whose marriage is, oh, wow. You can. There's a potential. It doesn't mean your marriage isn't a mess. It just means you might be able to hang. That there's really hard things means that, oh, maybe my thing isn't as big as what it is. It's still important. I don't want to devalue it, but it may not be the end of the world. Getting a sense of that is a glimmer of hope that may allow you to re-access some joy, to go, okay, maybe I don't have everything. Maybe I'm not thinking through everything as well as I could. What do I want? And it just can change how you think about things. So both on the positive, you can find people that's how some people get motivated to earn financially more, as they see, oh, they have, and so I don't see any difference between me and them, so maybe I can, what do? I need to do work. If you think it's just going to happen to you, it's not. You will have to do work. And so on that, what we might think of as positive, I think these challenges that we see, that often negative stories, can create positive effect if we will ask, is there a lesson here? If I will be humble enough and wise enough.
That's good.
To look for ways that, I don't want it to rain all the time, but man, I need it to rain some, so things grow.
Right.
That's good. That's a good point.
We're going to wrap up. One thing you said with True North, I wanted to...
Is it the suicide thing?
No, stop it. I wanted to repeat a line you said on Sunday. Joy is not a denial of pain or loss, but as a way to find true north, to honor the pain but not be destroyed by it.
Come on.
And that is really good. And then just even thinking through, after listening to a message like this and just kind of wrestling out, what does joy look like? And if I'm having a difficult time finding joy, and big J joy, little J joys, all of the above, I just felt strongly that even in those hardest things, you reminded us we still have God. So make a list and name the things. Name the things that you have. Name the things that you can thank God for, as simple as touching grass, as simple as you name it, that, I could stop at QT and get a soda today. I don't know. I mean, those are big deals when I was drinking soda. I'm really trying not to drink it anymore. But and Philippians 4:8, fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. And that's where the work comes in of, what am I going to think on repeat? I have to do some work and changing some of those things so that I can land on joy.
Yeah,
so
that's good stuff.
And you asked us to, what am I wasting my time and thoughts on that is costing me my joy? And you said our phones.
That's a better way of saying it.
Throw your phone, get rid of it. And what am I thinking, doing, saying that is reminding me of and increasing my joy? So sometimes we need a friend to remind us, but other times the Holy Spirit's right there. He's often very kind and reminding us, and let's just dig deep and find that joy. So thank you for a great message.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out and talking about it. Listeners, thanks for always being here, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll chat again next time. Thanks again for joining us today. We would love for you to tell others about the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to it too, because this will help others find out about it. If you missed it before, we love to hear from you. So if you have any stories to tell about how the message impacted you, or maybe you have a question or comment, make sure you email us at podcast@goodnews.church. Y'all, this is my favorite day of the week. So go give away what you just learned, and we'll chat again next time.